What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Every Week We Follow. Today, we are going to do the sell, loan, keep that you see probably from every single channel because everyone is currently waiting for this World Cup malarkey to get started. Obviously, there is all sorts of stuff going on with that World Cup. It's in the US, so of course, it's going to be full of loads of bullshit in the media all over the place, and but we will get into that on our video, which we're going to do Thursday morning because we are well prepared. And I was like, yeah, we'll start one next week, and then I was like, no, the World Cup actually starts on this Thursday. So so as always, if you are new here, please do hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you are in agreement with the fact that this US World Cup's going to be an absolute farce. Gary, how are you doing, mate?
Mate, I'm feeling a bit lost because it's like the end of the season. We went from, I don't know, mayhem and beautiful travelling to Istanbul and beating Liverpool and beating Man City to, there's no Villa game this week, and there's what do I do? I've just been struggling for. I haven't wanted to start the World Cup stuff because I've still, if I'm honest, I'm still in my Istanbul bubble. I'm just like I can't. It still just feels like a dream. I'm looking at this every day. It's been I found this last season when it ended, it was kind of, we just felt like we got into a rhythm of doing the shows.
I think the thing is with the season, it's the same with the football season in general. It's because there's such a climax. It's just kind of like really ramps up. And it's not just with the content in general, just as a fan, you kind of sit there, you're building up for this game and the next game and the next game and every game for the cup final, right? And then it finishes.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. Now we've got this like delay before we can even sign anyone. Like, is it like the 16th or 17th of June or something like that? You can't actually sign then. So you just got this big lull. It's like, I mean, to be fair, we shouldn't moan. Like, everyone deserves a rest at the end of a season. But we're just like, no, keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Mate, I feel like I've been dumped. Do you know what I mean? It's like I just need a break. It's been too intense. Like, back off. Go and buy a shirt. Go and renew your season ticket. Complain about how much money it costs.
I don't need 3 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever. It's a couple of days. But yeah, obviously we're lucky we've got the World Cup to focus on as well. And we are going to be covering the World Cup. Gary's going to be doing a lot more probably than I am. But Gary's going to be watching every game, I think, and we will be jumping on to do like previews and reviews and everything. It's probably from a weekly thing and then probably specific to England games as well. But we are going to be talking about Villa players at the World Cup and not just England.
Yes. I need to do that because at the moment, this is really sad, but I've said this before on the show this year, haven't I, that like international football for me has kind of dipped off a cliff a little bit. I've really struggled to get excited about it. And with just the controversy around the World Cup, like at the moment, I haven't really kind of thought about it. I haven't, while other people have been doing loads of content on it already, I'm like, I don't think I'm ready. I think that the stuff that I'd like to say about it is probably going to be controversial, and I know we'll cover this in the weeks to come. But ultimately, I guess when it starts and there's football on my TV every day, I'll be like, yes, now we're in it. But
every night.
Well, every night, sorry, yeah. Lots of late nights. I'm sorry in advance, Sarah, that I'll be tired in the morning. But nothing new there. I'm always fucking tired, so. But yeah, like as it goes on, I'm sure it will be. Hopefully, it will get better. But yeah, World Cup fever is fair to say has not hit me yet. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Well, let's get on to it. So sell, loan, keep. We're going to jump straight into it. I've done these based on the players that are on the Villa website as squad. However, we did notice some issues just before coming on with the quick tool that I've obviously built with AI. It did still have John Duran, Jacob Ramsey, and
Lewis Dobbin,
which I thought was quite funny. So we've managed to strip those out, and hopefully there's no one else in there that
no surprises. Maybe Dean Saunders will pop up.
Yeah. I think some of the pictures were also wrong. So hopefully it's sorted that out. But if it hasn't, it's every week we follow. This is the way that we roll. Right.
Yeah.
So first up, Emiliano Martinez. Now, I think on this, we need to put some ground rules in place. So around exactly how we're going to choose the buy loan, the sell loan keep.
Yeah.
Is it what we expect to happen? Is it what we want to happen? What do you want to do around these rules, Gary?
I'll very quickly give. I think we should give what we want to happen and what we think will happen. I think that's probably sharp
Yep.
but go with what we think will happen more than what we want to happen.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So Emi Martinez, obviously there was all the controversy last summer around Martinez. Believe what you will. I always say there's no smoke without fire, personally. And the amount of smoke around this was suffocating. Like there was so much smoke. So
no oxygen.
The whole thing of him sitting, waiting for the call from Man U, I tend to believe. I think that came from multiple sources. So I want to think that is probably true. But what are your thoughts on Martinez for this season? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think he goes in the summer? He's not going to. It's not going to be a loan unless there's an absolute obligation. But
no, there's no way he'll loan. I mean, I think he'll go. I think with the Europa League win and just all that smoke from last season. So this is what I said with the two things. I want him to stay. I'd love him to stay. I don't think you're going to replace him with a better goalkeeper, regardless of who you bring in between the sticks. But he's one of our highest earners, and if he wants to go, this is the key. Then Unai Emery won't stand in his way. Unai Emery said when this all happened last summer that I want players that are 100% committed to Aston Villa. So if he's got any kind of doubt in his mind, and he's gone to him, look, I imagine Emery said to him last summer, stick with us, because he did. When his application this season's been outstanding, but I've said to you all season that I've just felt like his body language hasn't been the same.
Right,
his personality that we all know and love has not been the same. We've seen snippets of it, obviously, in the final, and there was a time at Christmas, I think, after we beat Arsenal. But it was every game. The shithousery. He was a fan favourite, crowd favourite, and I haven't seen that kind of camaraderie throughout the season. So, like I say, my heart says please keep, but my head says he'll go, and I think we'll.
Yeah. I agree. I've seen like links with Chevalier again. Obviously, we've heard about James Trafford. We obviously do have Marco Bizot. So, personally, I'm kind of like, he's not Emi Martinez, but I think, if we are in the situation where we're like, actually, there isn't someone available, there might be available come like January or some kind of thing like that. I do think Bizot is good enough to be that player that actually becomes number one for a period. If it allows us to in other areas.
It's madness, right? Because ultimately, the other thing you got to factor into is that obviously Martinez is 33. So if someone comes in with a big pay packet for him, he's not going to turn it down, is he? So he's one of our highest earners, but we can't up his wages to 200,000-300,000 pounds a week. If he goes to any team, he's going to get a big fat payout, or it could be his last big contract. So like I say, if it was me and I was him, if you could put the money to one side, why wouldn't you stay at Villa? Why wouldn't any of these players stay at Villa if they could? Because next season promises to be, another exciting one, and we need to keep these players, but we all know we're fucked financially. So we unfortunately, he's up there as probably second favourite to go.
Yeah, and obviously the money we get for him, the wage kind of like balancing as well, that all kind of makes. So I'll put him in the sell pile. Marco Bizot.
He ain't going anywhere, mate. Keep him.
Anywhere. Yeah, keep him.
He's been learning all the celebrations, hasn't he? And he's also. I'd noticed, this is the other thing about Martinez, that most of the goalkeeping stuff for the new kit has all been done by Bizot and not by Martinez.
Oh, interesting. I didn't see that. I mean, sometimes they do that just in case. But yeah, I suppose you're right on that.
I'm probably reading into it, but it's little things like that start to add up, right? And you go,
yeah, no, I agree. I think, didn't we have somewhere about that last season as well? Wasn't that with Martinez as well? I can't remember. I'm sure there was stuff like that.
Well, I could always get Harvey Elliott to do it, mate. I suppose that's the other option.
Yeah, or John Duran. Right. Anyway, so on to Matty Cash. Right back.
My busy mate.
He ain't going anywhere.
No, keep.
No,
Keep.
absolutely
Mate, we've only got him.
How old is he now, Matt Cash?
I want to say 27, 28, something like that.
Yeah, he's 28. To be fair, he turns 29 in August. So yeah, he's not
Oh,
quite.
29. Okay.
He's not quite yet at the stage where he's like, okay, he's getting on a little bit. No, he's
mate. Victor
Lindelof.
Lindelof.
Lindelof, the unsung hero of last season. Obviously, he's got one more year on his deal. I assume the wages aren't too high. He's a brilliant. He's such a utility player. Can be played in holding mid, centre back, right back.
He's earned the right to go again, in my opinion. I think you keep him as a squad player for sure.
I agree. We'll come back to him because I think we'll probably touch on him when it comes to like one of the other players as well. Yeah. Ezri Konsa. Now, Ezri Konsa, in terms of what I want, obviously I would love to keep him. But I'm sitting there going, because he did that whole open letter. We had the World Cup. We had the whole Europa League. We've then got the World Cup coming, where he's arguably potentially going to be part of that starting pairing.
Yeah.
Someone comes in and tries to get him, because you never hear anything, do you? You never hear anything about Konsa.
No.
There was all the weird
bizarre,
stuff,
isn't it? Because
with the kind of tetchiness with the fans, with the Wolves game, and all that kind of thing as well. So there's been
when he called us all wankers or dickheads, whatever it was.
Dickheads. Yeah, there's been some stuff like in there. So is there a little bit of okay, maybe it's time?
I don't think it's time, mate. You don't get rid of your best centre back. We're struggling as it is to keep. Torres with being injured and stuff. Looks like Mings will probably be on the way out. We'll get to him in a minute. But you're right. It's weird that we don't. Considering Konsa's development over the last 3 or 4 seasons under Emery, how much he's improved. Like, if I remember at the start, like I was like, this guy's cooked, man. He had a really poor season under Gerrard, and when Mings got injured, and I was like, shit, I don't know if this guy can do it, and he's just risen to every challenge and just got better and better and better. And it's weird that there's no rumours or speculation about him leaving.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like,
it's not like he gets injured or anything a lot, or and he can play right back as well as right centre back, and so it's a very strange one. Unless literally agents and that just go no, and he's just like, I'm not interested. I'm not interested.
Yeah. Well, that could be the case, and like you say, with the open letter and the success of, tell you the thing that could push him over the edge and make him want to leave though. That he still hasn't got a song. I saw some footage from Istanbul yesterday. Yeah. I'm still watching it, mate. But where it's like they're asking the players to give like their songs.
Yeah, and he's like, I ain't got one. Yeah, he's like, I ain't got one.
I was like, how is fucking criminal? How has he not got a song?
It is.
So we've got to get better at that. I know there's been a couple doing the rounds on social media where people have sang certain things. I can't remember them, but they were doing them in pubs. Or, away fans were getting it going. But that is right. And if he leaves because he doesn't feel loved, then that's that'd be a sad state of affairs, because ultimately I think he's probably, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, one of the best centre backs in the Premier League. I think his numbers are consistent enough with that, and the fact that he's been recognised by England, we've got to. For me, we have to keep him. But like you say, nothing's permanent in football, and all it takes is an offer to come in. And it's mad really. Where just to put in perspective, if you look at Madrid trying to sign Konate, granted it's on a free transfer, but if you were going to go for someone right out of the two, Konate or Konsa, it's a no-brainer. But I'm not saying he should go to Real Madrid. I want to keep him, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens if there are any offers that come in.
What kind of, and when you talk about offers, what kind of? I mean, this is the thing. What kind of price do you put on Konsa? Like, because we've never heard any rumors about it, so there's no kind of like speculation or was that seen. What would you put on?
Well, I guess it's difficult. I mean, it's an inflated market, isn't it? At the end of the day, and it will be, particularly if he plays in the World Cup. So, this is where you can get your money for as much money as you possibly can. So
he's 28. He's 28. He turns 29 in October, so it's not like he's that old either.
Well, I was going to say, and as a centre back, if you adjust your game, you can. With how well these guys look after themselves, mate. Like, it's kind of look. I would anything between 60 and 70 million if he plays at the World Cup.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I was kind of thinking about. No, I get it. I was kind of
numbers. I know that might seem high to people, right? But if you look at what what people are paying for defenders. Like
Yeah.
Virgil van Dijk was 70 million
The point is
4 seasons ago.
the point is you got to replace him, right? And that's the thing.
You
You
got to
need to
replace him.
ready-made
So
player. So
I would say there's a minimum, and actually, like you say, if he starts at the World Cup, then his price goes up because he's an international defender. So it is what it is.
I agree. Right, keep. Okay, Tyrone Mings. So this is part of where the Lindelof chat comes in as well, because obviously Lindelof can deputise in that centre back role. If we do get rid, we're going to need to replace. He's not on like crazy wages. He
took a pay cut, didn't he?
He did, and obviously he's had his knee injuries and niggles. But he has also, when he's come in though, mate, he's not like he's been he's deputised well, and he's done a job, and he's got us over the line in games and stuff. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, does he stay another year?
I mean, his contract's up for negotiation. He only had a year extension, so I will be amazed if Emery keeps him on because of the injury situation. I just think that with his age as well, what is he, 31, 32, something like that?
Yeah.
He again, this is why I wanted two answers. My heart says
30, he's just turned 33, by the way.
33. Yeah, I just think Lindelof's a better option. I think when Lindelof has played in that position, and so if you're comparing the two, and you've got to get that wage bill down. I know he's taken a pay cut anyway. I think he's going to go.
I think also for him, right? I think a lot of it is probably down. I don't think it's going to be the case of look, Tyrone, we've got to get rid of you kind of thing. Like we have to, because I think any money that comes in, because he's got 1 year after this, so he's 2027. His contract's till if we get any kind of money for him, it will be a low fee. Like it'll be like what, 3-4 million. I think I heard from like Besiktas. Actually,
yes. So that was the rumor, right? That he could go to Besiktas, and I think that would probably suit him. A slower pace of football abroad.
That's what I'm about to say. I said for him, probably wants to play in his later years. Like as in, yes, obviously we're going to be in the Champions League, and he probably wants to like have all that and everything as well. But like, I think, potentially going abroad. He hasn't played like really abroad. He hasn't really had experienced that. So maybe that's something that could be good for him to play in another country as well.
Yeah, look, I've got nothing but respect for this guy. I think he's been Mr. Aston Villa, and he's been there for the journey. Brilliant that he finished off with a trophy, so he's got a winner's medal for that. So he's got some accolades. I'd love to see him come back and maybe do a coaching role at Villa. I think I know he's got his own academy that he runs throughout the city that is great, and he doesn't have to do things like that. It's getting kids playing football. I just think he's a brilliant human more than anything, and
intelligent too. Very intelligent bloke.
Yeah. And I think what's nice about this is that it's come to a natural end. Do you know what I mean? Like his contract's run out, and it's not that we're not going, he's not good enough or anything like that, because that's not the case. Like you said, he stepped up to the plate when required. But I think going to the Champions League, obviously he doesn't quite understand the rules about picking up the ball, so he probably need to just go away and think about that. And we wish him well, and hopefully, like somewhere like Besiktas or maybe Syria out, if we can get 3 or 4 million for him, I think we wish him well, and he leaves as a Villa legend, right? And I think I don't know many people that dislike Tyrone Mings.
No, I don't think there's any reason to. So yes, I agree. Sell Luca Dean. So Luca Dean, again, one of those others I think that we believe took a pay cut, but he continues to
he just won't go away, will he?
Yeah, every player that comes in, and the thing, and also I know Rich and Sam and that were all like, Gary, you need to tell Gary, highest assists from left back, I think in the league or something, or even in Europe or something mental like that.
How is delivery shit?
But he's obviously not.
I want to know, and they class these stats, and is it because he touched the ball in the build-up to a goal that he gets an assist?
Stroked his ass as he went through, I don't know. But
his delivery on a whole, he has moments where he pulls out great crosses, right? But on a whole, it's not great. Like it's like the set piece kind of like marker, right? Where you go, we've been the best, but like there's so many that we give away. Look, he's been a great servant, and like I just said there, he doesn't seem to go away, and I just feel that Maatsen deserves a chance, right? Because I think that is the future. But I wouldn't get rid of Digne. I think, like you said, his wages are relatively low. His experience is huge, and I wouldn't. I think we should keep him.
So you actually, I mean, we'll get on to Maatsen, but you actually think the left back then stays as is?
I think so. I think you've got two players there. You've got one with a wealth of experience who can obviously do a job. He's losing a little bit of pace, in my opinion. I can give you several examples this season where he's been absolutely outdone at left back and has cost us goals, right? And people will argue that Maatsen defensively isn't as good, but I think if you look at when Maatsen had a run in the team in that 11-game winning period, he was pretty good, and I think he offers more pace going forward, and Emery likes that as well. So
yeah. So Luca Dean's 32 years of age. He turns 33 in July, so he's going to be 33 pretty soon. He's contracted until the summer of 2028. So obviously he's going to be coming into his final year next summer. So I would say probably that's the season that he does go. It is interesting. You weren't there for the I think it was the quiz show. You weren't there, and I know you were there. Sorry, there was a show. There was another show we did, and you couldn't make it. And we were talking about Luca Dean, and we're talking about Ian Maatsen. And it was interesting because I think Neil from Liverpool McGrath. Yes, this is right. It was on Villa Park podcast. Neil from Liverpool McGrath was saying doesn't think Maatsen's all that. Doesn't see him as he's being. And they were talking about the minutes they've played. It's quite interesting because actually you think Maatsen hasn't been played, right? He only played 3 minutes less than Digne this season.
Yeah. No, he's had
a very little difference, and he was saying, but Sam made a very good point from Villa Park podcast that he was saying, you look at Matty Cash, right, and Matty Cash was very much a player that we were like, oh, we need an upgrade, on Matty Cash, and then last season he's been absolutely unbelievable, and you've seen what Emery has managed to do with a player like that. Yeah. If you could do that with Maatsen and improve his defensive work, then you have got such a player on your hands there because he is dynamite.
I think that's what's happening, mate. I think that's why he hasn't. That's why he's switched it around. And I think in most games this season, those are the two players that have always interchanged. Either during the game or they've played together.
It doesn't really help Maatsen by doing that, right? Like you want the player to be starting left back every week to get in that rhythm.
Well, you do, but at the same. But at the same time, like you say, for development purposes, like he's probably sees attributes in Digne that he wants Maatsen to have that doesn't quite yet. So he's like, right, I want you to study Digne. This is what I want from you. Your time will come. And I think that's like I love Neil from Liverpool McGrath podcast, and I understand what he's saying. But when you go down to games week in, week out, and you watch these players, right, and there's certain things you see. So I'm not going to argue with any of the stats or numbers against Digne or Maatsen. However, what I will say, for what I've seen with my own two eyes, Digne's been a liability, and I think Maatsen has been better in certain situations, and I think he's one for the future. I think you develop him, you kind of give him that opportunity, and actually, when Maatsen did play regularly, he did okay. He did well. He was improved from the previous season. So, like you said, you only get better by playing, and that's it. Now, whereas we all know that Emery though likes to stick with his certain favourites when it comes to certain games, and so when it's been the high pressure, high stakes stuff, he's always gone with Digne because he probably trusting more defensively.
It's all it's interesting because I was saying to Neil as well. I was like, it was funny. He was doing them on the fly, like looking up the stats and trying to. I was like, right now you need to look at the stat of who is he paired with at left centre back because that makes a huge difference, right?
Yes.
So and we were constantly saying that Maatsen was put there when was it when you had Torres? No, was it when you had Torres and he was like used as like cover from pace point of view. So he was getting caught out because Torres didn't have the pace to get back, so he was having to go up and down the pitch. So you do have to look at that as well. But anyway, moving on. I think with Luca Digne, I'm going to say keep this season.
Yeah, yes, keep.
Pau Torres, he ain't going anywhere.
Mate, he's been class. He has been class. A lot. Look, we just spoke right there. The problem, if you set up correctly, and this is where we've missed Kamara, right? But Lindelof did this brilliantly in the last couple of games. When you protect that back four with him in it, he's probably arguably one of the best in the business with the ball in front of him. We just have to try and prevent that ball being played in behind us because, as you said there, it has a knock-on effect to other players, and his pace is the thing that lets him down. But yeah, he's been class.
I do find it interesting that he hasn't tried the Torres in that holding role at all. I mean, the thing is with Lindelof, obviously Lindelof has played there in his career, so he has played like holding and centre back. But Torres has all the attributes for that holding. Does he strong enough? Is he physical enough? Maybe in that role.
I don't know. Yeah, but it depends who you play alongside, right? What I'm saying, as a ball playing, like if you've got someone who's going to do the dog work, like a Nana, for instance, and then you've got Torres, who you get the ball to that he's ball playing ability, he's second to none. Look, he hasn't used it. It's weird because if you look at Lindelof and Torres, you wouldn't say that Lindelof's this physical monster that's bigger than Torres. Right, that puts out. You know, so it could have been an option, and Lindelof. Like I say, maybe has played there. Maybe Torres feels like he can't play there. I think that's a joke, by the way. If any players go and I can't play here, like you go, you're a fucking professional footballer.
You can
play where I tell you to play.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It is what it is, right? People moan about it. It's not my
John
position,
John McGinn once said, he said, "I'll play wherever he wants me to play."
That's what great players do. Any professional footballer moaning about the position they play because it's not their favourite position is a fucking idiot. Because like I say, you see the lower levels, like people just you're told to play where you play. Like it's and you should understand the game.
You only moan if things aren't going your way, right? Like if the team aren't performing and you're playing, because then you're like, oh well, I'm not being played in my favoured position, blah, blah, blah. So the excuse is kind of man. You're looking for reasons why it's not working. If things are working, you're kind of sitting there going, I'll play wherever you want me to play because it doesn't really matter.
But
it's magic.
Top professionals like McGinn, mate, just get on with it and work out how to play the position and don't moan about it not being their favoured position. They just adapt. That's what you do. You adapt. And so,
exactly.
Not everyone can be John McGinn, though. Yeah, get rid of this guy, mate. He's on the screen.
We'll probably get much longer discussion about players, and we're still in the back four. So Garcia, what do you think? Do you think he's going to go fully sell?
Mate, he's been injured. Like he showed some promise at the start, but when he's played,
we'll be able to sell him. I don't think we'll be able to sell him. I think we'll end up loaning him.
Well, maybe we will. I'd like to sell him. Maybe a loan's a better deal if you can't sell him because he's been shocking when he's come back. Like he's been injured, he's come back. He had that start to the campaign 24-25, and he made that mistake against Liverpool. But he looked decent. He looked quick. He looked like direct, and then he got injured. And he's come back, and he looks like he's never played football before. Like
he looks like he put on weight as well when I saw it. I mean, well, you could have, right? If you're injured, it's difficult. But okay, well, let's put him in the sell pile. Ian Maatsen, I think we've just discussed him as well, so we're going to end up keeping him. Ross Barkley. Interesting. I can't remember what his contract is now. I think he.
It's got to be similar to Mings, right? I'm sure it was only a year, kind of.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I think it's meant to expire this year. I think it's expiring this summer. So, oh no, hang on. Unless sold, will remain until June 2027.
Okay.
So yeah, looks like June 2027.
So he's got a year left.
I don't know. It's I think there's an option. There's an option for a year, so we can extend if we want to. Yeah.
This one's an interesting one for me because clearly Emery loves him.
Mate, I love him.
And actually, as a technical player, he's been very good, isn't he? He's
very he's underrated, very experienced. I think he's very good probably in the dressing room as well. When he's come on, he's just sometimes he comes on because when the game's getting a little bit scraggly and a little bit stretched, or we need a little bit of something in that midfield, and he comes on, he's just a calm head. He doesn't lose the ball. He's very good at ticking it over. He's actually quite strong as well, like driving and pushing us up the pitch.
I think I would go as far as to say he's probably our most technical footballer.
Him and Tielemans, probably.
Yeah, like in terms of how he moves the ball, and if there's an option, I think if he's offered the option, I think he takes it. I think he gives us another year.
It's also a Champions League season for him. It's like he's playing at the highest level. I think it'll be interesting because it's whether, I suppose the main question is if you let him go, what do you get in? Because what do you get for him?
This is the problem, right? I actually feel that there won't be I think there'll be people that leave, I think the ones that he loves aren't going to go. The ones that he wants to keep, like really wants to keep, like Barkley as a squad player, right? Because we all know when fit. Like, I don't think Onana's going anywhere. Don't think Tielemans is going anywhere, and Kamara won't go anywhere, right? Because he's obviously been fucking injured and he's not going to be back till fuck knows when, right? But ultimately, he's like you say. If you get rid of Barkley, who the fuck would you get in his replacement? Like,
it's not only that, because obviously with the I'm not going to talk too much about the financial restrictions, but we are hampered again. So it's very much a case of it's not like we have to have net like positive spend. So you're not getting anything for him because he's going on a free. So all you're getting is his wages back, which I don't believe are that much. So I think it's a no-brainer. I think you keep him. I think he's worth value. He doesn't cost a lot, and you're not going to gain anything game with it. So, Yuri Tielemans.
Yuri Tielemans.
Not going anywhere after that, Ollie, mate. Not going anywhere.
Keep. There's no. Sorry. Goodbye, Harvey.
I mean, it's not even a sell because he's just not our player. So bye, Harvey.
Mate.
Emiliano Buendia. Go on.
Well, mate, look, this guy's had a sensational season on, yes, he
has. But is it an anomaly?
Well, I don't know. It's impossible to tell, right? Because he had 2 seasons where he looked dog shit. He looked like he was on his way out of the club. When he went to Leverkusen and they didn't initiate the option to buy because they deemed him not good enough, I thought he's gone. And then, like I say, in pre-season last season, I think I said to you after I went to watch the Roma game, fucking hell, he was everywhere, right? And this season, he's been one of our most valued players, mate. Like, he's scored big goals and big moments.
I saw the Villa, I think, put a little YouTube short of his goals.
Yeah.
And I was like, fucking hell, Emiliano Bangia. Because he is absolutely... all the goals were bangers. Like... I mean, obviously, the goal against Arsenal, the goal in the Europa League final, the goal against Spurs,
the goal against Feyenoord.
Not just bangers, but absolutely like such important goals. He scored a header.
In the final.
He scored 3 kicks. He scored bangers from the edge of the box. Like, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Mate, I didn't expect it. I think we've all kind of scratched our heads and gone, where the fuck has this Emilio Buendia been? Right. So now,
he's been injured, and that's the thing. So it's not like he's been around. Because was it last? Yeah, it was last summer or summer before. No, summer before last. And you saw him in pre-season. We're like, this is going to be a key. He's going to be a key player for us this season because he looked really good pre-season, and then he did his ACL, and he keeps doing it.
So, look, the key. I think he's earned the right to. I think we keep him, no doubt. I think he's, there's no doubt about that. It's what he does this season coming. I think consistency is key in football, right? And it's no point in having an amazing season like that because, like, as much as it will always be remembered and he'll go down as one of the greats for last season's campaign. You're only as good as your last game, right? And you've got to keep improving. Now, obviously, we know the standard improves year on year, and that it's going to be difficult next season again to go and do the same thing. But if he can, then like he has all the ability. It's all about like those. It's working on those moments where he does go missing. Because if you look at all those things we just talked about, sensational. But there are so many games where he doesn't get involved, or he gives the ball away too much, or he tries a pass that's not there, and he gets muscled off the ball a little bit too easily. So he's got a massive pre-season ahead of him. He needs to get himself massively fit. The fact that he's not at the World Cup is probably a bonus for us that he hasn't been selected. That he can go away, rest, have a full pre-season, get himself in the gym, or just really work at kind of being that, I guess, number 10 because. On his day, he's proven that he's almost unplayable at times.
Mate, he's 20 goal contributions this season.
Yeah, it's
11
massive.
goals and 9 assists. Unbelievable.
Yeah, but I remember in 23-24 we're talking about Leon Bailey in the same light.
Yeah, no, exactly. And this is where it's an interesting discussion because when we were talking, I think it was on the Villa Park podcast, that we were talking about the key thing that Villa seem to not always get right is timing. It's the selling them at the right time or keeping them for one more season and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And obviously, you don't have a magic 8 ball, and you don't have a telescope into the future or whatever. So you don't know what's going to happen next season. But all it takes is like
I
one
wish I had a
injury.
telescope into the future. That'd be nice. We should make a film about
Maybe,
that.
wouldn't it? How long would that
Telescope
telescope be? That's the question. How long would it be? Would it need to be like a mile long? Like, anyway. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But I think Emery himself has already said he's earned the right. He's earned a new contract. He has been stellar this season, and
look,
he's definitely staying.
100% keep, right? We're just talking about the what, like it's all about what he does now, and if he can replicate what he's done this season, next season, my God, he could be one of the best players in the Premier League because he's quality when he's on his game.
Yeah, I mean, he's 29. He turns 30 later. Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because like we've always said, every player's got a price. So if he's sitting there and all of a sudden, if we're like, no, we're not selling him, maybe we renew his contract. I can't remember when his contract ends, actually. I can't find it. I can't remember when his contract ends. 2027, June 2027. So it's another year. So if we extend it, I don't know, maybe we bang on like 2 years and there's a 3-year deal. Someone comes in with 50 mil.
It's difficult. This is the annoying thing about
they
being
won't.
funny strike.
They won't because he hasn't done it over a long enough period.
No, they haven't. But you know that football works in mysterious ways, right? And if someone wants him because actually he's the player, like this is the thing that pisses me off a little bit, that we have to look at those kind of offers if they come in for players, because we have to balance the books, and it's so annoying because what we should be able to do really is go, okay, get rid of some of the deadwood, because there's some players that do have to leave here, but the majority of players you would keep, right? Because they've earned that right. They've had a stellar season, and you go, we just need 1 or 2 more signings to strengthen the squad, and that's not going to happen, unfortunately.
Agree. Right, Dougie Luiz, he's not. We're not keeping him. He's gone back. I don't think we're exercising the option, so he's gone.
It's a mistake, mate. It was a mistake. We made a mistake.
It was a mistake, but it wasn't. Maybe we were.
Look, hands were tied, weren't they?
It wasn't much we could do.
I said to you in January, I understand it. Emery knows him, but I don't think there's a reason why Emery got rid of him in the first place.
Yeah.
And he openly said he did a ceiling at Villa. So yeah, thank you for the service, Dougie. You'll always be a fan favourite, I think, from that orchestrating.
Yeah. And he got a medal. He had that moment with Villa that he wanted, and that he'd wanted over the season. So he got that. He got that moment. But yeah, he's just not. He's not there, unfortunately. Amadou Onana.
He's got to keep himself fit, mate. He has to keep himself fit. It's so crucial. Like,
no. Also, I want to sing that chant for as long as possible because I love that chant. It's a brilliant chant. The only downside that I think with that chant is there's not much opportunity to breathe.
Yeah.
You go and you're pushing it out. It's like
no. Look,
yeah, you're right. He needs to stay fit.
When he's been fit, he's had some colossus performances, mate, like where he's looked like an absolute beast. But at the same time, it did disappoint me when McGinn and Tielemans and Kamara all got injured in January. I really hoped he would step up to the plate, and he struggled. Maybe that's because he was playing alongside Douglas Luiz, right? And that partnership didn't work. We looked exposed.
We saw that.
Yeah, we saw that. And when McGinn came back, mate, like a different player. I remember, I think it was against Lille away. McGinn came back for that game. He came on for the last 15 minutes, and he turned into prime bloody Perlo. He was just like kind of like it was unbelievable. But this is what I'm saying, that you play with certain.
I think that. Sorry, I was about to say. Sorry to interject. I think obviously there's a difference in age and stuff, but I think the conversation between Onana and Boubacar Kamara have to be had as one. It's the same for me. It's the same conversation. Because they are obviously Kamara is a different type of player. He is Rolls Royce. He is world class, but the guy cannot get through more than 20 games in a season.
Yeah, that is ACLs, mate.
To have 2 players that are both like that, for me, is an issue.
Yeah, it is. It is 100% an issue. The thing is, you don't. Like you say, you can't look into the future, so you don't know, do you? Like they'll be rehabbing the best, and with all the best physios, and Kamara hopefully will come back stronger. Big seasons for both, mate.
Again.
Because if they, again. But the stats don't lie. With Kamara on our side, we are a better side. Like it's when Amadou brings such a presence to this team, and he's clearly well liked, but we don't need a cheerleader. We need someone who's going to be on the pitch and staying fit. Now, it's interesting, isn't it? Because when you look at the likes of Ali Watkins and Morgan Rogers, who pretty much play every minute for Villa and never get injured, what are these guys doing that's forcing these kind of injuries? Now, Kamara's been slightly different because it's been 2 ACLs, and that is what it is, right? It goes, you ain't coming back. But this guy seems to jump in the air and end up with a niggle. Like, do you know what I mean? So what is going on?
It's interesting because I'm just looking now. I'm just looking at the stats and like appearance stats and stuff. So he 22-23 season when he came to us, 26 appearances. 23-24, he had 30 appearances across all competitions. So 20 in the Premier League, 4 in the Conference League, 3 in the FA Cup, 2 in the qualifying for the Conference League, and 1 in the EFL. And then last season, how many appearances do you think he had last season? Sorry, not last season, the season before the one just gone. 24-25.
24-25. I don't know, 25?
42.
42
appearances, 26 in the league, 10 in the Champions League, 4 in the FA Cup, 1 in the Carabao, and he had 1 in Premier League 2, which doesn't count. So he had 41 appearances. So actually, it's interesting because the season before last was his longest season by a mile. Last season, he got 26 appearances.
Actually, thinking back to that, you're right. 24-25 season was arguably his best season. He started the season really strongly. He scored against West Ham at the start, and so sorry, I rapidly underestimated that. So it can be done then, right? In terms of, and I don't mind it if he's the kind of player that does pick up niggle injuries. That's the whole point of having those players in that midfield system, right? But my point is, he's a £50 million player, and if we need to call upon him, he should be a general in that midfield. So if players are out, he's the one that needs to be stepping up. That's not a criticism. It's just that's what should come with a £50 million player. It should be that leadership quality, that one who's leading the line, that is Mr. Reliable. At the moment, that's McGinn, but we know that McGinn has to have his minutes managed. It has happened this season. It's not because that level of energy. You can't do it in your 30s. You just can't. Like, you can be as fit as fuck, but it's too much to do every game. So, McGinn will have to have his minutes managed next season, and this guy's got to be the one that really steps into that. And
I think he's got one more season to prove it. I think, if I'm honest, I think if we get Champions League again next season, I think he's got one more season to prove it. I think he needs to show that. The problem I have with Onana. And people have come at me before saying, like, "Are you crazy? Like, Onana's amazing." I'm not saying he's a bad footballer. I'm saying in the thing with Onana is I don't think it's like unlucky. Like Kamara, I feel like has been unlucky with those injuries and tackles. Onana, I think it's his build. It's the type of build and the position he plays. He's a tool. It's almost like if you had a giraffe fall over, right? Like you worry about their legs. Or you worry about like something buckling or whatever. Like it feels like that. So, he's in that midfield role where he's going to get niggled. He's going to get fouled. He's going to get clipped. He's going to end up falling over and stuff. Is he just going to keep getting injured? Is he made of glass? Like we said, he injured his calf, freaking jumping. Like, it's ridiculous.
Mate, I don't get it when it's little niggling injuries. Like you've got top of the range strength and conditioning coaches that you're working with.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if even with that, it's like if you're a certain type of build, it can happen. It's like when they look at fast players, right? They always do the hammies because even no matter how much you like work on that sprint pace, that sudden.
The problem with certain injuries though, like hamstrings, like once they go, then they're so much harder to go again, right? I just the little niggly injuries really frustrate me because I think that's a little bit deeper than just being unlucky or your build. I think there is something fundamentally that you need to really look at. And if you're diving deep into it, I'm not saying it's all about the strength and conditioning, but your nutrition, but it's what you're doing on and off the pitch. And because there's a reason why these little niggles happen all the time, because so many players, like I just said, like Rodgers and Watkins don't have these. Like Rodgers is a fucking beast, right? And he's all over the place, and he's moving, and he's twisting, and he's turning, and yes, but he looks like he's strapped together with sellotape half the time. But because he is, right. But what I'm saying is he's not picking up these little niggles, and so there are certain players that maybe just are injury prone. But I don't buy into that, because why are you injury prone? There has to be more. There's a science to it. There is a science to it. So, like you said, I think this season's massive for him, because if he stays fit, he's been brilliant. He's an absolute monster of a footballer.
If we had him and either Tielemans or Kamara or whatever, just to call upon every game, always there. Like,
but if you look at that position, right? If you look at the good teams in the league that do it well, like Elliot Anderson, for instance, right? Absolutely brilliant, mate, at Forest. He's not doing it. Maybe you could say the build, but it's relentless. If you look at think of sort of other players. Casemiro is, what a season he's had at Man United. I don't really want to talk about Man United, but playing that role, it's like you have to adapt it. So if you're getting injured, like you don't always have to go a million miles an hour. You can adapt your game to make sure that you're not putting your body under the stress that it causes, because you've got other players in that midfield that can help you. So I'm not saying don't be, because his best performance is arguably Arsenal, Man City, where he's put everything on the line. That's what you want to see. So maybe it's more of about what he does off the ball than it is what he does on the ball, because he seems to get injured every time he's on the ball, whether he's jumping for it or kind of overstretching or whatever it is, because he's got long gangly legs. But look, he's been overall.
He's so much heart and passion, isn't he? He probably does just throw himself into it, and because he's also, you forget how young he is. Actually, he's 24. He turns 25 in August. So he's not even at his prime yet. So
this is the crazy thing with him and Kamara. They are prime real estate in terms of footballers, mate. They're in they can only get better. We could have the best years, and if you keep them fit, we've arguably got one of the best midfielders in the Premier League.
Exactly, I agree. Right, Morgan. We can't talk for too long about this, but Morgan Rodgers.
So I had a conversation with someone that works for the Aston Villa Foundation, right? I'm not going to reveal any names. And this was in the pub on Friday. And again, it could all be bullshit, so I'm just taking it with a pinch of salt. But I never believe anything that anyone tells me, right? But he's been doing some work with the foundation over this season, right? And various stuff, which, has been very commendable. It's gone under the radar. He's been really helpful, apparently, and he hasn't wanted it publicised, but he's been doing certain things behind the scenes, which is great. But this person told me that he's going, that it's already decided. And it's not that he wants to go. I think he wants to stay. I think he loves Unai Emery. I think he loves the club. But I think the rumours are, and we've touched upon it briefly, if the bid comes in, and I'd be surprised if it hasn't already. I think it's just a case of we won't know it publicly until after the World Cup, that he's gone. And we have to use that money to try and rebuild as best we can.
And I think it makes sense, right? Like we just talked about players that we're sitting there and we're going, we can't lose this player. We can't lose this player. We can't lose this player. And it's also a case of we can't lose this player, but if we did want to and we wanted to lose that player instead of someone else, I don't think there's a ready-made market that's already coming in for him. And I don't know if it makes a big enough difference, like for us to actually be able to replace and do things to the squad and it to make sense. This player, I think it does. And obviously, what's going to happen. This is what happens with Villa players, right? We'll sell him and he'll turn into an absolute another level of world beater. He'll go on and win like 5, 6, 7 trophies at different, and blah, blah, blah. He'll be one of the world's best ever. But for us at the moment, with how we are and the way our finances are, we can't afford to have a player like this who is a potential. Like, yes, okay, he's done it in spells this season, and he's done it in spells last season, but it's still very much potential. He's not the finished article. And if we have that kind of money come in for him, we can't afford to go, no, we're going to take the risk. And next season, he could be absolute damp squib, and all of a sudden, he's only worth 40, 50 million. We have to take it while we can get it, because we can then strengthen his position, maybe 1 or even 2 players, so that at least we can rotate someone in that position, and also get a right winger. as well. And then there's other areas of the pitch that we need to strengthen on. And I think that left kind of inverted 10, I think there's players out there that we can get who will do us a good job, but will still give us kind of elements of what Rodgers gave us. Not what he does give us, but maybe more consistently as well. Because like we said, we don't know if it's his fault. He's played every single minute. I think he only missed one game through suspension, I think, this season, something like that. You know, he needs to be rotated to be played, and maybe would flourish at a bigger club because he would then be able to be rotated.
Yeah, mate, I don't disagree with any of those points. If he goes, he'll be dead to me though, and I hope he gets injured and never plays another minute again. That's simple as. Right?
Yeah, I mean, we don't. It's not the same. Like, it's not the same kind of feeling you had with Grealish, right? It's not like he's a young lad. He's obviously a Birmingham lad, but he's not a Villa through and through.
No, he's not. He's not. He's got no, emotional connection really to the club. It's kind of he's been sensational, and like you said there, it's all potential at the moment. If he has a brilliant World Cup, I'd slap £100 million price tag on him. I would. I would, and it's probably not worth that. But I think in terms of, like you say, it happens every World Cup. Players get overinflated, particularly if they play well. And like you say, what it means. I personally, I think he's as good as he is because of Unai Emery, and I think if he goes somewhere else, I think it's a risk for him. I don't think he's got the potential to go on and be one of the world's best, but I don't know if anyone else in those teams that have been mentioned that he could go to Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, whatever it is. I don't see the managers there getting the best out of him. I don't think
he suits the way Arsenal play. Personally, no. I think they play with more of an out winger on that left hand side. Chelsea, hell no. Like, why would you? I don't just like. I think for him, he's also going, well, no European football or anything. Like, what's the point in that? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Man U working under Carrick, that kind of midfielder potentially. Like, but like the weight of that role at Man U, and the players go there and die. Like, it's just
of course they do, mate. And like you say, you've got to then try and battle with Bruno Fernandes, who likes to play in that.
Yeah,
kind of,
also, who knows? We don't know how Carrick will kick off next season. He can have a terrible start to the season. They change manager again, and all of a sudden he's in limbo. So.
It'll be a risk for him wherever he goes. But obviously, with the kind of money he'll be offered to go, he's not going to not take it. Like, and what it means for us, look, my only concern is that if he does go, that we have to reinvest that money wisely, and it's fair to say that our transfer business has not been brilliant. We've had he was one of the good ones, but if we get that right, in Unai Emery we trust, mate. But I would love it just done now, rather than having to wait for another fucking 6
but
weeks.
it's not gonna make commercial financial sense. You'll get the most.
No, I know, but I said this last season. That's why I fucking hate the transfer window, even when there's because all the speculation, all the fucking social media people out there pretending that they're in the know and kind of transfer news today. Oh, fuck off! You don't know. Nobody knows. Like, fucking just wait until it's fucking announced and then let's talk about it. I don't know. It baffles my head that how people get so bought into it, like with the Fabrizio Romanos, who fucking like this. Like, just it's weird. I don't understand the hype. I'll just wait till it happens and then we'll talk about it, mate. I know that's not going to get us anywhere, but
Yeah, right. So Morgan Rodgers, he's going. I think it may. One last thing on it. I think basically the word is it's more valuable to us to sell him than it is for him to move. I think it's very much a case of our choice over his. Right, Boubacar Kamara. I think we've gone over him. I think we're going to say we're going to. Alisson.
Keep, mate. I think this is another reason why I think Rodgers is going, because I think this kid.
Just to be clear, that is a picture of Alisson, not of Morgan Rodgers.
Yeah, Morgan Rodgers' younger twin brother. Like, this is by 30 seconds. Obviously, we thank Alisson and we thank Rodgers' dad for going to Brazil 19 years ago and having the time of his life. Obviously, and we bring Alisson. Look, we've only seen him play a couple of times, right? But my word, he looks exciting, mate. He does. He's very, very similar to Morgan, like in his stature and his movement, the way he walks, the way it's just mad. It's mad. It's mad.
Really weird.
Obviously, bit weird that he came from Brazil, never been injured, and has had 9 different injuries since he's been with us. I don't know what they're doing to him at Bodymore Heath, mate. But
he had made 43 appearances last season, or the season before last, Gromio, and then he made 20 the season before that. So like the season before last, he made 31 Serie A appearances. Like as that makes sense? Like it doesn't make any sense at all. So with at a Villa, he's made 3. 3.
Well,
so
look,
yeah.
Sometimes you get excited about a player, and I just think he looks good. Like he looks sharp, he looks direct. Obviously, way too early to tell because he's only played 3 times. But obviously, he's not going anywhere. He's young, isn't he? And I think he's one that we could.
When I say 3, he played 27 minutes, 4 minutes, and 16 minutes. He's played less than a single
1 appearance.
He's basically played one half of football.
That's 1 appearance.
He's played 1 half of football. But yes, 100% keep. We're not loaning him out anywhere. I think actually, if he can stay fit, I think he does a job on that left-hand side for us. I think he helps cover that position. Ollie Watkins, Gary. So I think the thing is with Ollie Watkins and the conversation, and again, we had this with Sam on the Villa Park podcast, etc. There's a few things you have to talk about with him. One, yeah, well done, mate. One is if he goes, where does he go, and how much does he command that fee? 2, who do you replace him with, or how do you replace him? And 3, it's that consistency thing that we've talked about with the purple patches. Is that okay? And is that something that the team can carry? Because we do get goals across the pitch. We were bangers FC, like we said, this season. But like, it's so frustrating because you take those last 10 games of the season, he is world class.
Phenomenal.
Like, the last 10 games of the season, he is quality. But you take another period where it's like, what was it, 17 games or something? He scored 3 goals. Oh, I know. Yeah, Don't get copyright flagged. Get rid of it. Yeah, that chance for England. When he was through, and I was like, mate, with the form he's on, bang this in. It's a terrible finish, isn't it? Terrible.
Look, he's made me eat my words. He proved me wrong last 10, but I stand by the criticism, mate. That ultimately, and even him himself, right? He's done a couple of interviews since the end of the season. One with Rio Ferdinand, and he was interviewed by ITV before the game, New Zealand game. And I don't think he's under any illusion that where he needs to be. But for whatever reason, that blocker, whatever it was, we don't know the reasons, right? But it felt to me, and I think Sam from the Villa Park Post said this, like for up until game week 30, mate, he was awful.
Yeah,
like he'd 8 goals, 1 assist, right? And then he's finished, like you said, the last 10 games in unbelievable form, world class form. His performance against Nottingham Forest in that semi-final was world class. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. And but he ain't getting any younger either. What is he, 31 this year in December?
He's 31 in December. Yeah.
Right. So I feel like I know way too much about Ollie Watkins. Like fucking, but the problem we've got is now, is who do you replace him with? However, if because of that form at the end of the season, and let's say he does have a moment in the World Cup, he comes on and scores another brilliant goal in the semi-final to get through to the final. Do we sell him? Do we cash in on him? Obviously, we know Unai Emery loves the ground this guy walks on, right? I
think. Sorry, one thing just to add to this, to the consideration. I think the thing you also need to remember. So we've obviously over the last 4 or 5 years, whatever, we've had maybe 1 or 2 players that have just kind of been there challenging him. We had Duran, we brought Tammy in, we had Ings, we had all these players, but Ollie was very much that number one. We had Rashford on loan, and he actually kind of usurped him for a little while. Yeah. The thing for me is that the reason we've been able to do that, or Ollie being that man, is he does not get injured. he does not. Like 2021. So these are Premier League appearances, right?
Yeah.
2021, 21-22 season, 35 Premier League appearances. 22-23 season, 37 Premier League appearances. 23-24. Oh God, hang on, refresh. Go. 23-24, 37 Premier League appearances. 24-25, 38 Premier League appearances. Played every game. 25-26, he played 37. So he only missed one. So, like, if you do replace him, that player has to stay fit because otherwise you need to buy two.
Yeah. No, I agree. This is my concern. I think off what we've just seen in the last 10 games, you'd keep him, right? But you've got to get something else in. Like, I don't know what the plan is with Tammy, but there's no doubt, I believe Unai Emery is going to go for another marquee signing like Rashford. Right? I'm not saying it is Rashford, but someone like Rashford for the Champions League, because I will stand on this hill.
We're in those talks, right? I just don't know wages and stuff.
Ollie, unfortunately, is not a Champions League striker or a World Cup striker. Like chance, I've just shown permitting. Like you get 1 or 2 chances per game, and you have to take one if you're going to be successful at the highest level. We know that he takes.
You watch him go on now. Kane will get injured. Ollie Watkins will get Golden Boot at the World Cup.
Mate, look, I'm here for it. I'm just, look.
It's the curse of Gary. It's the curse of Gary's comment.
On my back. Look, I've got his name on my back. I'm 46 years old, right? The fact of the matter is that I want him to do well. I want him to be this thing, but he is aging, right? Now, Kane has done it. Now, there's levels to it. I've said, like, he hasn't been able to rise to the level. If he proves me wrong and we keep, let's say I think we'll keep him, right? If he goes on and scores 20 Premier League goals again next season, right? I'll eat my hat, but I'm not going to not criticise him when he's poor. I got a lot of stick for doing that, but I've also given him his flowers when he's deserved it. And those last 10 games, he was fucking brilliant. He was, but that's the level. It was the same in 23-24. He played all those games, went to the Euros, was absolutely outstanding, right? But then dropped off a cliff. He has for 2 seasons. So
I think for this, I think we have to, because I think we view, if I'm rightly reading, we view the summer and the January transfer window as like one season window, like we kind of plan between the two. I think we have to have a plan in place for January if he's just not at it. I think we have to have something ready, like Rashford and Asensio. I don't know how. I think they came out quite late, didn't they, in the window? But like we have to have something like that in place, basically, kind of like ready to go if he's not at it. That's my kind of opinion. But I think definitely keep at this stage because we're not having all the kind of rumors that we were having last year around him.
100%.
Tammy Abraham. So obviously he's not on loan. He was purchased. I think it was 18 million. Not really done anything. Is it a case of Emery's integrating him slowly like he does with some of these players? The word is he wanted him. He really wanted him.
Yeah.
And is it actually the case that now he's come in and actually he's just not what he thought it was, or what?
I think he wanted him because he knows he loves the Villa. He's first in the Villa. He loved the club. And he's happy to sit on the bench and not kick up a fuss. Whereas I think Marlon was like, "It's a World Cup here. I want to be playing." Like,
and rightly so. You
want that. But I think Tammy loves the club. You can see he gets on with all the players. His relationship with Watkins looks amazing. Like, celebrating all his goals, all that kind of stuff. Brilliant to see. I think that's what Emery wants around the dressing room, and so I don't see him being utilised. He's had little moments, and he hasn't really.
He's scored important goals, hasn't he? Like
I always think against Sunderland was
massively important.
And the famous offside against Newcastle in the FA Cup, which we lost. But look, I'm thinking about the Champions League, mate. I don't know. I think we need better, ultimately, and so, but we have just bought him. How much he paid? 30?
18.
So, squad player, he could well be kept as a squad player, but I've got a feeling that there are reinforcements incoming. So, maybe he'd be loaned out. It wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility, right? Because this is what happened with Gassond. Didn't work out for 6 months, and off he's gone. We've got to talk about him as well because he's ultimately coming back, right? Palace haven't.
Yeah, we'll get on him. I think Tammy, personally, I think it might be another thing of like evaluating Jan. I think it might be again a little case of like, how's he doing those 6 months? He's going to have a full preseason. He's not on an international duty or anything like that.
Well,
So he's full preseason.
I think the other thing to mention is that he's had shoulder surgery, right? So if you remember against Sunderland, when he celebrated the goal, he held his shoulder, right? I don't know if it's been all over his Instagram and TikTok. X account. So after the Man City game, he was having surgery on his shoulder. So he may well have been carrying an injury, which is maybe that's why he hasn't had any kind of minutes.
Potentially. I think it'll be an interesting one, but I'm going to say keep. I think we do keep him. I'd like us to keep him. Sancho. I'm keeping reading things that apparently like Emery really wants to take him on full time. I can't see that. That's got to be a load of bullshit.
That makes no sense financially. This guy
doesn't.
Look, it's fair to say he had snippets of moments this season where he looked half decent, right? But it's nowhere near the price tag we're paying. Like, get that fucker off our wage bill and use the money.
It's the salary that's killer, isn't it? I don't think the actual fee they want. I think the fee they want is like 26 or something like that, which I'm like, it's kind of
it's not that. Mate, he's not worth 200. Look, this is what pissed everybody off at the start of last season. Like, we wouldn't give Jacob Ramsey a pay increase. Then we fucking started paying this guy 200 grand a week. Like, it pissed everybody off. Like, it's not his fault. Obviously, his agents negotiated a contract, and that's fine. But I haven't seen enough that warrants him getting a place in our team.
I agree. Oh, bye-bye.
Bye. Get rid of him. I have my team. I never want to see you in a Villa shirt again. Leon Bailey, you're fired. Get out. No.
Right.
You know what's really annoying? I don't think he's not going anywhere. But he's all over JD in this top. He's modeled in the new kit.
Well, the thing I was about to say is it's obviously with players. I always say it takes two to tango. The problem is who's taking him, who wants him. He's shown nothing. Shown absolutely nothing. So who's gonna have him?
Yeah, let's face it. Any football chairman or manager's going, no, I don't want him. What are you putting up? What numbers have you got this season? Oh, I've travelled a long way. Got some frequent flyer air miles.
Some of the players who are on loan who are due to come back, Nedeljkovic. I mean, we've seen the stuff with Nedeljkovic. We're all a bit baffled by the whole situation. I think he's going right. Like I think he goes full time.
I agree.
Baranakea, again, another player though that actually is pulling up trees where he's going as well. He's been brilliant. Been absolutely brilliant for Benfica. And was it you? I can't remember who else was, but I've heard in rumours that he's been fantastic. And it's just frustrating because we talk about those players like Anano and Kamara and that who can't stay fit stuff, and having that kind of like young player that can come on. We've got Bogard, right? But he's just not. He shows moments, but
all those things that I haven't watched him play. So I've heard all the same things as you have the rumour mill in terms of how good he's been at Benfica, but these players were more or less bought for this very reason, just to loan out and sell on.
Yeah, just to sell on because it keeps the coins churning.
Yeah, we might regret it, but there's no way Emery's if he was good enough or Emery wanted him, he wouldn't have gone back out to Benfica. Right. So I think it's a buy. Yeah,
Junior as well, another left back.
But mate, he's at Pisa. Let's be honest. It's like it's the same. It's the same thing, like potential. But these were at the time where we were trying to balance the books, right? So it was kind of we were selling players to Chelsea for 20 million quid and some dodgy dealings going on. I don't know what the ins and outs of it, but I think he goes. Yeah, there's no place.
Gauchi, he's on loan at Port Vale.
He's at Port Vale, mate. No, keep him on loan or sell him. He's one of the worst goalkeepers I've ever seen in my life. Honestly,
that's so brutal. And Olivia Zich, he's at Rakov Cheshtekova.
Yeah, and that's where he should stay. Send him out there, into the middle of nowhere. Honestly, sometimes I don't know how these players get to become professional footballers. You watch them warm up and you look like you've never played football before. Don't understand it. Your dad must know someone.
They're young, and you got to give them. They're not going to come in anytime soon, right?
So I know they're young, but so being young means you can't catch the ball, right? Just watch them warm up. Do me a favour, right?
Oh God, yeah. Because where is it? He's currently 21, so he's very young. I think he's due to turn 22 soon. So I'd
Well,
say he's
mate,
probably.
if you need some football, I know that my Thursday on a Thursday I play. We need a goalkeeper, so he can come and play with me if he wants. He has to pay though.
And Edwin Gasson, he's so an interesting one with Gasson because obviously he went to Palace. He did quite well there. They've got a new manager going to be coming in. So
Yeah,
does he come back and we can't because it cost us
yeah,
30 million? Like what are we
yeah.
doing with him?
Well, he's coming back, mate. He's a double European champion. He's won the Europa League and the
First
Conference
in
League.
history, mate. First in history.
Yeah.
But what are we doing with him?
I don't know, sitting him down and explaining the rules of football to him.
It's going to have to be a loan. It has to be a loan, right? No, I can't see
Yeah.
anyone buying him, and I can't see us taking a big loss on him. We can't. So
Well,
it has to be a loan.
unless Palace agree to buy him, and they haven't initiated that, but he goes back out on loan to them. Yeah, like it's such a strange one, right? Because he's done okay for Palace, but my word, he was shit for us. Honestly,
Well, we were trying to play him in a position that he doesn't really play. Emery wanted him
well,
to adapt
there was
to that
that.
right winger.
Yeah, again, adapting, mate. But I mean, 3 games I watched him do this.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was terrible. So bad.
Like just like rabbit in the headlights. You know, at the same time, it's impossible to know what kind of player he is because we haven't utilised him correctly. So if he does come back, maybe you do play him centrally, but is he going to play centrally? Because we've talked about Buendia and other players that can play there. Rodgers, obviously we think he's going to go, but you know. He was bought initially when he was sold to us that he could play along that front 3, right? He could play left, middle, or right wing, and he was shitting all 3 positions. So I don't.
It'll be interesting. I think he might play a little bit in pre-season and see. I think Emery will take a look at him again. Maybe I don't know, but I see him getting loaned out.
But then we get into that discussion about our recruitment, right? Like, take a look at him again. Like, you paid 30 million quid for him. Why did you pay 30 million pound for a player that you haven't taken a look at? Do you know what I mean? What the fuck? Like, so
well, from what I read from like Jacob Tanswell and stuff, basically he was brought in, and Emery believed that he could adapt him into that right hand role, and he just didn't. He just didn't work for him. So at Palace, he was played as that like central number 9. He was played up front. So and he did all right. So it's a difficult one because it might be that actually we look at him and go, is he as good or better or worse than Tammy? Is he just as good? Like, I don't know. So but we'll see. I'm going to say probably loan. I think he'll go out on loan. So that's where we've got to there. We've got Keep, Marco Bizar, Matty Cash, Victor Lindelof, Esri Konsa, Luca Dean, Pau Torres, Ian Matson, Ross Barkley, Yuri Tielemans, Emiliano Buendia, Amadou Onana, Boubacar Kamara, Allison Watkins, and Tammy Abraham all to keep. Zish and Guessand out on loan and sell. We're clearing them out. We're clearing out the deadwood. Martinez, potentially. We believe that could be a deal that's going through. Mings, another big one, which both those need to be replaced, by the way. Garcia, we need a backup back.
We need a squad of 25 players. I think we've only counted 15 there, mate. So we need 10 players.
Yeah, there's 15 in the keep. You're right. There's 15 in the keep. There's obviously young players that can potentially step up, like Jimadine Aloba and players like that. And then you've got...
We've missed Bogard off, by the way.
Oh, yeah, where the fuck's Bogard? I had a picture of Bogard. I don't know where he is. I know his picture was in there, so I don't know what's happened with Bogard. Harvey Elliott, gone. Dougie Luiz, gone. Morgan Rogers, obviously the big one. Sancho, Leon Bailey, Nedeljkovic, Barnechea, Illing Jr., and Gauchi. I do think some of these, like the bomb squad, like Bailey, Bailey's probably Bailey and Andres Garcia. I think we might struggle to shift them on, if I'm honest.
But, I agree. The Bailey's in kick launches, mate. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah, we shall see. Right, mate, that'll do us for this one. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. As always, if you are new here, please do hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. It's been an hour and 15. If you're still here and you haven't subscribed, what the fuck are you doing? And if you are using this and you're getting an hour and 15 of content and you haven't signed up to a membership and you're not paying $1.99 a month for the privilege, absolute disgrace. Anyway, Gary,
finance our revolution, people.
We will be back on Thursday morning. We'll have something going out probably lunchtime for starting on our World Cup watchings and our World Cup path following England and all the other Villa players. on their journeys in the World Cup. So we will be jumping onto that this summer. And we will intersperse that with any kind of news that comes out about Villa. I'm sure we'll try and keep
World Cup fever. I've got my England shirt, mate. I'm ready for
Very
it.
nice, mate. Very nice. I've got the 96 replica. That's the one that I usually go with. But final thoughts, Gaz, and sing us out.
Final thoughts of this. What a season it's been. Whatever happens in the summer, in Emery we trust. I think we'll strengthen the squad. I think we'll have a right go next season. I think he will be gunning for that Champions League. I'm so tempted to book flights to Madrid. Not going to lie. And
they're not out yet.
Yeah, well, but it's. I'm just, and now we have to just sit in this lull, which I hated last season. But thankfully, we have got the World Cup coming up, and I'm going to try between now and Thursday when we shoot that, get into some World Cup fever. So I'm going to spend the next 48 hours trying to ignore all the Donald Trump shit, right, and just focus on the football, because somewhere amongst all the crap is the best tournament on earth, right, where World Cup fever can hit, where there's even more games to be played, where I can stay up till 4 a.m. watching football. This is what dreams are made of, right? What I should be doing is buying the Panini sticker book, but I've worked out that costs £580 to complete.
Yeah,
so
it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Fuck
Brilliant.
that.
Sing us out, mate.
Yeah, as always, we'll see you on the next one. Until next time, every week we follow the boys in claret and blue.
See ya.